songs. The music in this game is fantastic. Alright, without further ado, let's kick it off. The gods are dead. In their wake, man and giant survive through a tenuous alliance, driving the black destroyers called the Dredge deep into the northern wastes. Now is an era of growth and trade. Life goes on. What's this, Quack? What have you sent me?
It has been several long months on the road. The first signs of snowfall accost us on our approach to Strand, largest of the trade cities on the Val-human borders, and our last collection before returning to the capital. Several days ago, the sun simply came to a stop in the sky. Though during these long winter days, none of us can be certain how long it has been.
I really want to play an RPG set in this world.
Some of the men in the caravan have taken it as a dire omen. I am not quick to superstition.
You guys can hear it, right?
I myself will be glad.
Pretty sure you guys should be able to hear it.
With this year's rounds.
Pretty well, Moon. How about yourself?
By stranded travelers about brigands on the path through Richhorn, our road home. Our captain seems unconcerned. Perhaps he is as eager as I to be done here. We will rest here this day and inquire further when we speak to the governor.
Hi, boys. Evening, boys. You arrived just in time. The chieftain in red and his men are looking for a tougher fight than they bargained for. Drag around the screen, but more like it. Yep. So this is our. So basically, the way this game works, this is your action. This is your like turn order down the bottom. You can move. If you move in the blue spaces, that's just a normal movement. If you move into the yellow, that takes up one of the. I think they're called points of will, and that essentially, like you have a. You see down there the little star down here. Willpower. There you go. So willpower essentially gives us the ability to use special abilities, move further, that sort of thing. But when you use it, you burn a willpower, and you get willpower back by killing them. So let's do that. So as you see, this is going to burn a point of our willpower, I'm pretty sure. Yep, so it burned 1 point of willpower there. And then you see here, it's a pretty simplistic game when it comes to combat. So enemies have armor, or people have armor and they have health. The more armor they have, the less damage to their health your attack is going to do. You can reduce their armor by attacking their armor. So here, we see that we are strong enough. So we're strength 9, right? He has armor 4. So armor 4 takes away 4 from our strength 9, which leaves us with 5 strength remaining, which is still enough to kill. Strength is also your health. So we're just going to do that. Yep. Beautiful. This is what I just explained. Dead. Awesome. Oh, we also gain renown for killing people, which is experience. Awesome. Let's burn willpower, 2 willpower to move all the way up. But then he has a special ability, which is going to use more willpower, but essentially it means it's going to hit both of them, which is pretty awesome. So, let's do that. Killing both. Once it comes down to one man standing, it doesn't go like their turn, your turn, because basically if say there were 2 people on one team and 5 people on the other team, it would still go your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn. When you get down to 1 person left, it doesn't do that anymore. It's just your last guy's turn, our guy's turn, your last guy's turn. Beautiful. Doing 8 damage, we can also spend willpower to deal 1 additional point of damage, bringing it to 9, which of course is his total health. Finishing him off. Then that's combat. That's literally how combat works. It's a little bit more complicated than that, there are a little more nuances to it, but that's pretty much the basics. But the story in this game is fantastic. I love it.
How did it come to this? We fool ourselves believing that peace will last. My grandfather built all this from a poor fishing village, you know. He watched the gods die, watched the chaos that followed, watched man and var slaughter each other, even before the dreads arose. All we've done is traded one struggle for another. Now that there are no more dreads to war against, we war against ourselves. This chieftain meant to kill me, and he's not the first. A dozen families in the city would gladly take my chair. This one had men waylaying merchants, both north and south of the city, strangling trade quite well, I would add, though he denied it to his last. This sort of wolf doesn't stop biting because the head is cut off. It just grows a new head. I am in a bad way, my friend. Help me finish this fight and I'll gladly send you on your way with double our king's tithe. Take any men you need. They're loyal, I promise you that. They will meet you down in the proving grounds.
Hell yeah. So we start to learn some things about the world. The gods are dead. The sun has stopped moving. There are humans, there are giants, and there are dredge. You're approached by a familiar man who walks in step with you as you're leaving the Great Hall. He cuts to the chase. Erik, steward of Strand. I manage the governor's business. I'm not going to do voices, I'll forget the voices for each character. Ubin, isn't it? Certainly is. The governor tells me you've given us a hand. What do you have in mind, my friend? That's alright, Moon. Hope you have a good day. Scaffoldings that didn't hack up in the Great Hall have scattered after you took out their chieftain. The governor wants to make sure they stay down. I was hoping you'd join me in the marketplace by the docks. If there's anyone left to worry about, I know you can tell us. Click on the tents. Let me handle this. You meander through rows of open-face houses and eroded stools. Coloured canvases flap on a briny current. One man in particular blanches as you approach. Hi, I'm not in the mood today. For what? Talking to an idiot. The scum shaved and bled out about an hour ago had, so tell me where that rat anus of the rest of them... What rat anus the rest of them crawled back into, and nobody's gonna try and kill you this time. I don't talk to... They don't talk to me! Say nothing. Eric overturns his flimsy table, scattering Had's assortment of junk across the ground. God's Eric. Laying on a bit heavy, don't you think? Nobleman. Up by the east wall. But that was months ago. Must I know? Your bodyguard steps over. Good enough. Were you wearing green back into the Great Hall? Nope. Just brought him while you were walking around. Why? You looked like a frog. Better than an eggplant. You have an eggplant and a frog. That's our party right now. Blind dog was just had, but it used to be scaffing. If they're looking at their wounds, they've probably gone to old haunts, not new ones. Nobleman's is a mead hall. Listen, I know you guys would love a few of these scars in the ground. I'm going to find him. I'll meet you there. Alright. Halfway up the hill towards the Great Hall. Hey, Sarah! Thank you for the host. Welcome to the stream. I hope it was good. You're playing Walking Dead, right? That makes me sad, because obviously Telltale out there. Yeah. But I hope it was good, regardless. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Hope everyone else did. Welcome to the Banner Saga. Another story-driven game. Another story-heavy game, I should say. To make sure the governor remembers his promise. Double the usual time. Alright. You arrive in front of what must be the nobleman. A few minutes later, Eric appears with a weather-beaten man introduced as Valgard. I'll point them out, Eric says to his shoulder. Ready? Alright, let's get it over with. Hey, Valgard, hello. Let's do it. Valgard boots open the door so hard it won't close again without repairs. As you enter the hall, Eric is already at the head of a table, his axe drawn. Wide-eyed, drunken scaffolders scramble to find their weapons, turning tables and mead steins in the process. Edge of the second episode. Just did the second. Cool. Hopefully they can arrange someone. Yeah, I agree. It's like, what does anyone actually? Because I didn't fully read the article. I kind of skimmed it. Hey, Casa, how you doing, man? Does anyone actually really know what happened there? Like, was there? Did they just not? Were they just not making money? Like, I thought from what I knew, the Telltale games were pretty popular. So let's put our giants over this side and use Eric and Shield Bro over here. Massive funding issues. Yeah. Okay. That's insane. Like from my perspective, which obviously doesn't encounter a lot, but they seem like they were doing really well. I mean, like the games were good, right? Batman, yeah, the Batman one wasn't great. Honestly, like it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. How many games did it actually make money? First seeking Walking Dead and Minecraft. Holy crap. Wow. That surprises me, honestly. What has Sarah done? You do play up the bad parts a little bit, really? I haven't played anything past season 2, so oh shit, was that all of our armor? Oh no. It was all of his armor though. Yeah, he's fucked. Hi buddy, you're dead now. Rip. Spare the game, that's how. See, I've never hated them. Like, I played the first and second season of The Walking Dead, I enjoyed both of those. I played Tales from the Borderland, which were amazing. I played Wolf Among Us, which was really good, and I played Game of Thrones, which I really liked. Tales from the Borderlands and Wolf Among Us, yeah, they're definitely good ones, for sure. Fuck off. Dropped him with his armor instead. Let our frog do most of the damage here. Oh, for sure. Like they're for sure like a mainstream choose your own adventure, right? Like they're a way to get choose your own adventure into a more like, yeah, well, I guess mainstream audience. I said it pretty well the first time. For sure, like that to me, that's what like those games always felt as. Don't go down. Just kind of, oh fuck, I don't want to put him there. Oh no, because I'm pretty confident he'll die. I want to use this guy to deal with most of these. So let's move him. Kind of wasting his turn. I'm gonna move him all the way out. Welcome back, Quack. Yeah, certainly am. That's alright. We should kill both of these guys here. Oh, we're lucky he didn't hit Eric. Actually, Eric probably would have gone down. Ah, one left. We're good. Alright, Eric. Yeah, fuck it. You're gonna run away. We don't need you in this fight. We really don't. Our giants can take care of it. Actually, the fucking one giant can probably take care of it. Yeah, for sure. He just kills him one shot. Boop. Ridiculously loud victory music. I love it. Promotion. On the topic of story games that we really like, this is like story-heavy games. This is probably going to be one of my favorite franchises. I love the Banner Saga. Eric is looking out the hall's windows into the bay. A fleet of longships approach with sails of bold reds and blues. One banner I know well, Vognir. Next for the Val Kingship last we spoke. The other flag looks important. Yeah, important guess. Life is Strange was good as well. I liked the. I haven't played anything apart from the first, but I enjoyed it. Important guest. No more sense. Hope I'd have a stake in saying everything's fine here when the Rogusts arrive. Not me, the governor. Now just make sure Now I just have to make sure there are no rotting bodies or pools of entrails still in the Great Hall by the time they arrive. Can I ask for one more favor? What is it? If you happen to stall our guests, I wouldn't object. Eric and Valgard hustle from the meat house. To his credit, Eric tosses at the barkeep a spar of silver for the mess. You give an apologetic shrug, though, to greet the new arrivals down at the docks. So, as someone who does quite a lot of writing, dialogue is it's probably the hardest part of writing to get right. It's so difficult. Like, I could write about two 21-year-old people who have exactly my likes and interests talking to each other, and like, it still wouldn't sound natural. Right? Dialogue is just difficult anyway. Like, in anything, dialogue is difficult. Vognir. Familiar Varl steps into the docks. In your mind, you recall the much younger version trampling the halls of Gofheim in abundant in purpose. God, Zubin, you're looking ancient. That's true. Yeah, word choices. Yeah, it wasn't great in Life is Strange, for sure. Comes with being old. Hakon. I love Hakon. He's great. Yeah, I think that's probably like the best description of like the Life is Strange dialogue, Sarah, is like exactly what you said, because it just sounded like some old dude's idea of how kids speak, right? Yeah, for sure. You can go out and hear how people sound and, you know, actually just go talk to young people. Right, we're collecting taxes. These people are like, you should go do something else. Hakon motions to the other ships in the bay, sails still fluttering. Golden wolf head emblazoned on red. The king of men, or someone on his behalf. The king's whelp. The king's son, Ludin. Don't you know, Scrivener? We visit his capital. He visits ours. It's how you make these alliances. It's how you make alliances these days. It's a miserable waste of time. Yes, Hakon has it. I'd almost forgotten. It's a good thing you're around, Hakon. Going to Groffelheim. Yeah, everyone's gonna go together. It's awesome. So, okay, these guys... So Ubin, who's the person we're playing, who's the purple dude, he's basically a tax collector. He goes around and then collects tributes from the cities in his area, under the Varl, like, control. Vognir is Vognir the king? Yeah, Vognir is the new king, I'm pretty sure. The next in line for the kingship of the Varl. And Hakon, who's the guy here, is like his bodyguard. A host of giants depart in his wake. You recognize a few, others are strangers to you. Guess I'm off to find more gear. See you in the morning, Scrivener. The Prince of Men ambles off his ship. He brushes off his tunic, scanning the beach with low eyelids. Ludin looks all around all the world for the sort of boy who grew up pulling legs from spiders. The long road back to Grofheim should be more interesting than most years. You think? Me reading this is going to be terrible. And Ludin is the Prince of Men. Weariness suddenly settles in, and you chuckle to yourself. What an odd day it has been. One of the governor's men at the Great Halls. The Great Hall could find you a place to sleep. On the other hand, if you're going to join Vognir's caravan tomorrow, it might not hurt to share a drink with Hakon, or at least introduce yourself to the prince they spoke of. So, a little bit of the split path here. You go get some like, additional kind of story. Ubin. You find the prince in an inn. Guards blanket the building, including a sharp-eyed Val who must be working for Ludin. A woman in red eventually waves you over, and you stands nearby, arms crossed. Greetings, Prince Ludin. So this is the prince. This is the Prince of Men. Working with Vognir. I don't remember you. Exactly, I've been with Vognir a long time. We joined you back to Grofheim. For my guards. The woman. I work for the king, carrying ties to the capital. We'd crossed by chance. Oh, a tax collector. Alright, I have a habit of recording history. A Varl historian, don't you know already? Your king and mine both have practically trumpeted throughout the cities. I've been on the road a while, I'm afraid. Ludin takes a deep sigh. Whether tired or ungracious, you aren't certain. Maybe both. A formality, mostly. Vognir came to our capital in Aberrang, and now we go to the Varl's capital in Grofheim to cement the grand alliance for the next age of men and Varl. You sound inconvenienced. He's a whining bit. In short, Ludin is a whining bitch. You sense he's struggling not to complain outright. You take the opportunity to excuse yourself. Probably the best idea you've had all day. It's a good drink of Hakon. I like Hakon. Good character. Scrivener! You find Hakon in a mead house, surrounded by other Varl. Oh. Strand is no stranger to Varl, but rarely sees this many. Hakon moves you over. Vognir is the one who agreed to pass up a drink. I was invited to the governor's hall anyway. You already missed the massacre. Every year I make rounds collecting taxes. Every year it's the human settlements that give me trouble. No surprise, what this time? When I got to the Great Hall, the Great Hall was already full of bodies. We added a few more. Humans. Guess if I only lived as long as a Yox farts, I might be desperate to make something of myself too. Not too late to start trying, Hakon. Hakon lets a low chuckle. Let's slip a low chuckle. Any Varl could recount his deeds. He is known for cutting a swathe through the dredge at Vognir's side in the Second War, and regularly since then. Down here, I'm a glorified bodyguard. You might have a point. Just another reason to get back to Grofheim. You drink until the mead house becomes overbearing, and then step back into the cool air outside. It's sleep time! So this is a whole nother mechanic, which we'll get into when the game actually, when you start traveling. But this is where a lot of the, there's a lot of tough decisions to make in quite simple mechanics, which is another thing that I really enjoy with this game. The actual mechanics themselves aren't really that complicated, but they force you into making a lot of kind of rough decisions throughout the way. At dawn, you're wakened by a delivery of goods. What can I do? Or are you just blaming the 40-year-old French-Canadian? At least you think it's dawn. Damn hard to tell with the sun that never moves. The governor's crest adorns the supply levies. All there, and just as promised, to your mild surprise, you wonder if Eric had anything to do with that. Get some renown. You guards take the treasure wagon down to the gate. Vognir is already here. A while later, Ludin and his men appear, groggy and disheveled. Morgir steps forward. Vognir's quartermaster. If you recall correctly, in charge of his unwieldy entourage of warriors. You know him only in passing. He asks if you're ready to depart. You just blame Canada for no reason? Fair. That seems like you. You follow Morgir and the others. Usually, the smaller door set in the gate would be enough to enter or leave the city, but the town guards have been told to push them open entirely. They mutter things under their breath that are best not heard. Perhaps the governor expects you to draw a crowd, but there is nothing of the sort. Just frustrated, tired people. It summarizes Strand well as a whole, I think. Really sets the tone for the game, right? That sentence alone kind of gives you a pretty good idea of kind of what's going on and the mood of the general population. So, this is a whole nother mechanic. Basically, you have the days you're traveling, this just marks the days. Every day it ticks over, and every day you burn through supplies, and you, your morale of the caravan declines a little bit. You can rest, which essentially allows you your morale to go back up, but you're obviously going to be burning supplies the longer you rest in one spot, so you kind of need to micromanage that a little bit. But, if you got in a fight and your morale is really low, well, people might just start leaving, and that sort of thing. But if you run out of food, they'll start starving. So, yeah, there's a whole micro thing now. The caravan stops for the day. A gift, Morgir says, cracking open casks of mead. Oh my god, cracking open mead casks from our gracious friend, the governor of Strand. Hours pass with raucous laughter as the mead is passed throughout the camp. Let's toast to Wagner. You raise your drink, toasting the alliance between men and Val. The others join in. Luden's expression is like a stone wall, but the others laugh at your exaggeration. Eventually, you sit down beside Wagner. Let's drink merrily. It's not often you get the chance to relax on the road. The odds of something happening up to the treasure card is low, especially in this company, so you take advantage. Morale improved. The world is shit and everyone hates each other. Exactly, Quack. It's a good summary now. You rise groggily. The camp is the campsite a casualty of merriment. Morgir is already kicking warriors away when you spot Luden stalking in your direction. He steps aside sleeping bodies. You better wake up. You nudge Morgir. You're needed. Ah, Luden. Always a pleasure. You look well rested. Fognir releases a caged yawn and receives a hard-eyed stare in return. How long to Grofheim? Ha! Only 2 days out of Strands, you know. Come, I'll show you on a map. This is the first time you get to see the world map. Map of the world, start by dragging. So we're here, right now. We left Strand, which is basically here, directly under us. And we are going to Grofheim, which is up here. So we're going right here. So, still heading up like this, all the way to Grofheim. It's a pretty huge map. Grofheim, the last home of the Val, and the seat for their power, founded by Arfinir, the second Val king. Though the Val here have moved around a lot, most consider Grofheim their capital. The deeds of the Val are honoured here, and all warriors of worth are buried at the foot of the two spears, where they are said to become part of the Val's march itself. Which is the mountains. Val march. Basically, you can click as many of these as you want. It gives you, like, they've written so much lore about this world, right? It's so cool. Whole regions, like, yeah, it's awesome. I love it. We head north, then east past the forts. Grofheim's far from Strand. Going to be a long march. You should have drank last night, Luden. Why not take the ships to Skryma instead? What's the point of marching? Silverstone Bay is called that for a reason. It's covered in ice all year, would tear up the longships. Half-sunken city crawling with dredge. Dredge and glaciers. You like glaciers? Luden exhales through his nose, a poor disguise for his contempt. He turns and bats aside the tent flaps as he goes, barking at his company at a distance. Alright, let's get moving. So this is what comes up when we rest. So if we're traveling, we want to rest to get morale back. This is what we get. Basically, sometimes there'll be a market here. Doesn't look like there's one in this one, but sometimes there'll be a market where you can buy shit. You can rest, which improves morale. You can look at your heroes and change their equipment and stuff, and level them up. For example, Grinolf here, he's a warhawk. He's the one who got all of the kills last time, basically. And because he's got enough kills here, we can promote him using renown, and that gives him better stat, gives him more stats to improve, and he's basically allows him to equip better items. So we're gonna do it. Plus 5 renown. And we see we get 2 points, which we can put into any one of these abilities. He's pretty good, like his strength is really good. His armor isn't great, so we probably want to try and buff that as quickly as possible. We can, of course, upgrade his special ability, but I don't really see the need to just yet. So we're going to put them both into armor for him. Let's see what else we've got. These guys can't level up just yet. He can actually level up again. Is that 10? We might do that. And let's put 1 into armor break, so essentially now when he hits against armor, he's always going to break at least 2 instead of only breaking 1. Yeah, let's give him 1 more armor as well. Alright, sweet. Morale is great. We'll just leave. There's no point in resting up at the moment. Morale is still good.
Winterfell. Even the name means bad weather, where frozen wind sweeps in from the bay. They tend livestock, but most are just men driven from Strand with nowhere else to go. Why else would anyone stay? We won't stop long.
By Hardborg. Val. He wants us to go look for his cattle have gone missing and he thinks we're looking for him, but... It's faint. Sounds like fighting. It's something else. Harkon takes off in a run. That's a dead Val. Alright, Ludin. This is a really dumb play, but it's gonna force me to do it. It's gonna make me hit his armor. I don't want to hit the armor. Yeah. No damage, because he only had a 50% chance of damage. Alright, let's do it. Sudden impact, added strength, and armor damage to the target and adjacent enemies. 100% hit, plus 1 strength damage, plus 1 break. That wasn't that great. Probably should just hit him more. It's fine. Gonna try and drain this guy's strength as much as possible, but to do that we're gonna have to burn armor. He's just gonna have to hit us so freaking hard. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Come on. Yeah, let's break some armor off this dude. As for 1 is like never a good choice, but it's fine. I'm okay with it. When we get back to the frog, we should be able to do some good. Yeah, now he can only start hurting us like 1 for 1, which is kind of what we want. Move him there. Start taking out this guy. So these guys, these robot guys, the Warforged, if you will, are Dredge. Boop. Kind of didn't actually want him to get that kill, but it's fine. He is almost down. We don't really want that. We're going to move away. There's no point in getting him down, like, if we don't have to. I also don't really want him to get the kill, so let's just use him to kill the armor. We're going to take extra damage, but neither of them can die, so it's not really that much of a problem. I just don't really want him to actually be the one to get the finishing blow. Just now we can promote someone else instead of all of our experience going into one basket. Give me that renown. Trying to get yourself killed, Luton. What are you doing? Never seen a dredge before, boy. What kind of idiots break their armor first? Didn't even see them. They were just there. Hakon goes to where Vognir lies face down. The future king of the Val lies motionless, aside from the spreading pool of blood. Vognir is dead.